Hello, Mrs. Luddy. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
We're here to do a little bit of an interview for the Women of Woodland Awards ceremony. You were nominated for a Women of Woodland. Was that something that surprised you?
I was honored and very pleased to be chosen for this. Not super surprised just because I've been a woodland woman for almost 20 years. And I'm glad that they see that as a positive thing, that as a positive role model.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What makes you feel proud?
I'm most proud, honestly, when like my students and my athletes achieve their goals, when they're their best selves, when they're so happy to see what they've accomplished, because I'd like to think that I had a role in, motivating them or helping them. My favorite is graduates that send me pictures of their travels and, the Latin American countries they did community in. So many kids have achieved so much, and the fact that I might have helped to motivate them really makes me proud.
Let's talk a little bit about your athletes. I don't think everybody knows that you're a coach. You want to talk about that a little bit?
My athletes, I try to teach them that being a teammate is so much more important than being an all-star athlete. To have a team that's a true team makes for my best years. I've had so many good athletes and so many good teams over the years. Coaching really energizes me. And every team is a different chemistry, and working through that, is a challenge that keeps me going.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What's your superpower?
My superpower, I think it's hard to think of superpowers when you think of like Superman and all that, but dynamism, I think. I looked at the words that they used to describe me, and if you sort of put sort of energetic and enthusiastic and active and never still and like positive all in one word, it's someone who's dynamic.
I don't think you ever sleep. I don't know when you actually sleep. You're always moving, always busy. You are definitely one of my role models, but I'm just curious who's your role model?
Well, I have actually lots of role models because of the different things I do in my life. Of course, first it's my parents because they made me who I am. They taught me that the most important things are always being active, always trying hard, and that reading is important, which made me a lifelong reader, which is why the quote I picked has to do with how traveling and reading, make you good.
Do you want to share your quote?
Sure. My quote is from Don Quixote, the greatest book ever written. El que lee mucho y anda mucho, ve mucho y sabe mucho. And that just means that you need to travel a lot and read a lot. And if you do, you see a lot and you know a lot. That's where you get your knowledge from, seeing the world and knowing all different kinds of people and reading.
That's wonderful.
My other role models really for coaching is a woman called Sue Enquist. I have followed her for a very, very long time. She's the winningest coach from college softball of all coaches, male or female. And the most important thing about her is that she made a point of always reevaluating and changing as a coach. To have, I forget how many, 14 or something, so many national championships, and still reevaluate and change the way you coach is very important. She, teaches the kids to be the best selves that they can. And now that she's retired, she travels, sharing with other coaches, really on the internet for free or on emails, or you can actually text her to try and teach other coaches what her blind spots were and how she had failed kids so that today's coaches could do better. She's just an inspiration, the way she built teams and was, so successful.
Wonderful. Any other role models you want to?
Well, of course, Shakira, as all my students know. Shakira is definitely one of my role models, even though we're about the same age. She, didn't let her upbringing or her conditions sort of bring her down. She loved to sing. She was sort of what we would call an indie rocker back in Colombia. And she didn't give up. She wrote her songs, she sang her songs, she played her instruments, and finally made it on a TV show, Sábado Gigante, out of Miami, and became popular. And, she changed the way, her music, obviously, and the way she dressed. But I know some people have problems with, the lyrics and some of the, the moves or the outfits she uses to be successful in America. But she uses her success to give back. She has the Pies Descalzos Foundation. She builds schools in Colombia. She's constantly visiting kids in underprivileged villages. All of her success, she gives back into providing education for kids in Colombia and countries that need it. And for someone who fought so hard to find great success and give back to where it started, to me, is inspirational.
I love that. Woodland Worldwide has a mantra. It's our flaws that give our personalities flavor. So tell me about a flaw that you have or that you love, a flaw that you love.
Well, it's definitely a quality that I've been praised for and criticized for, which is my competitiveness. Mm-hmm. It's definitely given me so much success in life and drives what I do and makes me work hard. But at the same time, I know that I can get caught up in being so competitive and wanting to succeed that I forget to relax and enjoy the ride. You miss a lot when you're singularly focused. And sometimes you just need to enjoy the game. So I do love that I'm competitive, but I know that I sort of missed out on being an observer or an enjoyer of game, sometimes because of that.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I know you had mentioned the other day that you've coached a lot of games. You've coached a lot of games. How many are we at right now?
Well, if we count my time at Naugatuck and Woodland, I have 303 wins.
That's amazing.
And still half as many of that in losses, but it's been a great time. Yeah,
that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. So here's some questions. We're going off script a little bit. What brought you to teaching Spanish? Why are you teaching Spanish?
Well, that is a funny story that I don't know if you've heard or not, but I went to college to go into sports medicine. And I didn't love the science classes. And at the same time, I had volunteered to help out at the local elementary school. And I helped some kids learning reading. And I loved it. Like, I worked with them for a year, and at the end of the year, like, they were reading. I decided I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be a reading teacher. So I got a degree in elementary education in New York. Came back to Connecticut, got 2 coaching jobs at Naugatuck High School. I was coaching girls freshman basketball and boys freshman soccer. But I had not found an elementary job, pretty much because I was certified in New York and still testing in Connecticut. So I was working at Park and Rec, organizing sports and coaching. And, the principal of Naugatuck came out to the field and said, our PE department chair thinks you speak Spanish. And I said, I do. They said, are you a teacher? I said, well, I have a New York State elementary school teaching degree. They said, how about you start teaching tomorrow, high school Spanish? I said, sure. And I became a high school Spanish teacher, and I never stopped. I got dual certified, and it was just what I was meant to do.
And now you're teaching AP Spanish.
And now I am.
Bilateral. It's just amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Anything else you want to add? Any other?
I'm just so pleased to be a part of the Women of Woodland, and impressed every single year with the mission of Woodland Worldwide and everything they stand for. Way back from the fun days of starting out with a race and just, teaching how education is the key for all people, women and kids, and how that you need to be valued for what you do and who you are, not by your gender or your religion or anything else. And the fact that Mrs. Flaherty and Mrs. Oliver and now Mrs. Gary keep that going and help our kids every day, every year. It's just so important to the Woodland community and Region 16.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Thank you for taking some time to talk to us.
Thank you so much.
And that's it. So I'm going to stop recording right now.
Okay.